two more pre-draft visits for the Philadelphia Eagles that we really need to talk about. Cooper Dejean already has started his offseason work, and he's putting in the work, and we got to talk about that. And it seems like the offensive coaching staff is officially official, and we're going to be talking about that as well. So let's get straight into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I'm Overtime, a fantastic JT. This video is sponsored by BetUS, so definitely go check them out if you guys have not. So a lot to discuss today regarding the Eagles and what's going on. We're talking more pre-draft visits. We have less than a month for the draft, few more weeks, and that's really it. We're kind of getting there slowly but surely, but the Eagles have brought in another edge rusher in, okay? If I could say his name right, Oluwafemi Oladejo, okay, from UCLA. Now, he played in California. He transferred to UCLA from 21 to 2022. Now, he was an off-ball linebacker, transitioned to an edge rusher, kind of the opposite of what Zach Bond was when we picked him up. Now, 2024, now 14 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. Now, he's flashed in the pass rush, okay? Now, he's supposed to be a first-round pick, but don't know if he's really going to be there. I think he'll be there from 32, maybe even past 32. Maybe we'll be there on the second day, okay? This one's a little confusing for me just because when you look at a player that's really flashing, I don't think you're ready to pay a guy that much money. But they've had him as an edge rusher that could really elevate his game, has a high ceiling when it comes to his pass rush, but really you need to pair him up with somebody good on the other side. And especially when you have two good defensive tackles like the Eagles have right now in Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and obviously this would be a guy that comes right in and will be in the rotation. I'm not saying that Nolan Smith isn't a good edge rusher. The Eagles don't have a Aiden Hutchinson right now, okay? So hopefully with some of the other guys like Azeez Ojulari, you see some guys, Joshua Uche, guys like that are really going to get a lot of work into this offseason program, and we'll see these skill sets really come alive in front of our eyes. This is a guy projected to be a good pairing that will have a high pass rush that will get better as the days go on and could potentially be a big steal late in the first rounder. But obviously, if he drops into that second round, the Eagles maybe change their mind with a trade back, or maybe they still pick at 32 and feel like they could still get him in the second round on day 2, then sure, go for a guy like this, and I think you'll be set and ready to go. This guy has a high ceiling. He's flashing a lot in that pass rush, and we'll see how it goes. But this is just another edge rusher on the list for the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of edge rushers on pre-draft visits right now. But to get into a new a new position that at cornerback, okay, Andrew Phillips from Kentucky, okay. Now the Eagles cornerback position is going to be interesting because we don't know what's going on with that cornerback 2 spot. Is Keely Ringo going to be in competition with Adoree Jackson? You have nothing behind Cooper Dejean right now when it comes to inside corner. There's nobody there. Maddox left, signed a deal elsewhere with the Detroit Lions, and you're lacking big depth there, okay. God forbid, I'm going to knock on wood if Cooper Dejean has to miss a game or something like that. You don't want to get exposed at that position. And trust me, before Cooper Dejean was here, we have had issues at that inside corner spot for a lot of years, okay? Now, Andrew Phillips, okay, from Kentucky, 5'11", 190 pounds. Now, I think this was a pre-draft visit from last week, so I'm kind of behind on this one. But it's an interesting one, okay? 41 tackles. 1 tackle for loss and 5 pass breakups last year. Now, for his size, he plays pretty damn physical. He is a physical specimen for his size, okay? Now, they have him projected as a late day 2 pick, but let me tell you something. If he gets to the 3rd round, it's going to be awesome value. The Eagles would have to pick him up, but I think the corner is due for the Eagles to be drafted in the mid-rounds, okay? This guy plays outside corner, inside corner, and has had some reps at safety. He's played nickel. He's done almost everything. So to have a hybrid corner that could play anywhere as a DB, that could play anywhere in this secondary. I think those are the type of players that Vic Fangio has interest in, and guys that he obviously wants. You've had Sidney Brown that has played corner, has played safety in the NFL. I think you always want more guys like that in case of injury, and you can always produce guys. So say the Eagles are set at safety, they can always move him somewhere else. If they're set at inside corner, they could set him somewhere else. If they need him somewhere else because of injury, they can always move him around to be that Swiss Army knife piece. Maybe they're looking for a guy like this as well because maybe they want to move Cooper Dejean around. Okay, I still don't really believe that Cooper Dejean will be playing on the outside or anything like that because I think he's a huge value on that inside. But to bring in another guy that maybe if they have that plan to use Cooper Dejean as that Swiss Army knife, they could stick Andrew Phillips in that inside corner spot and could do some good things. Reminds me of Quinyon Mitchell a lot too because he's very physical. Especially in coverage. He's a little handsy, which I really do like, and that's what made me fall in love with Quinyon Mitchell, especially at the Senior Bowl last year. And I think you'll have if he makes it day 2 or even makes it to to a third-round pick, I think it's a steal. And I think the Eagles really have to draft him. So these are two guys right now that still have very high ceiling, and especially Andrew Phillips, a guy that has safety background, can play corner, outside, inside, could do everything you want him to do. I think it would be a really good pickup for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we're going to be talking about Cooper Dejean, okay? Now, Dejean, obviously a Super Bowl champion. You got to remember, guys, because Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper Dejean, two corners that they drafted last year, the maturity that they have, that really coming into the league, very mature players, okay? Not even on the field, but off the field as well. And to go through what you went through last year in 2024, winning a Super Bowl, going through it all as a rookie, winning it all, you're honestly, you're almost a veteran at this point, okay? You've been through it all in 1 year. You play at a high level, playing like veterans throughout the entire year. Cooper Dejean is not wasting any time in this offseason program. So what he is doing now, he is practicing in Arizona with one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL, and Patrick Surtain, working his tail off and really honing into his own craft and getting better. I'm so excited for Cooper Dejean, and obviously his work ethic is off the charts. And, like I said, when we were talking about cornerbacks with Andrew Phillips, I'm excited to see what is the future plan with Cooper Dejean going into this year. Will they keep him on the inside? Will they move him around? I wonder what the plan is there. But to practice with Patrick Surtain, one of the best corners, can't complain about that, and is putting in a lot of work. And nice to see Cooper Dejean doing that. Has become one of the most beloved Philadelphia Eagles players after 1 year, and is, just played absolutely amazing. Can't wait to see what they do, and, just still putting in that work, which is absolutely fantastic. And the coaching staff for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, it looks like the offensive coaching staff is officially official, okay? Promotions, obviously, we've seen Kevin Patul's now the new offensive coordinator. You have Tyler Yelk as the defensive assistant. I have no idea who that is. And here are the new hires. Parks Frazier, passing game coordinator. I think Parks Frazier came from the Colts, has worked with Nick Sirianni in the past, so he will be the new passing game coordinator. Scott Loeffler, quarterbacks coach. I think he was the assistant coach. I'm not sure if which one was the Georgia coach, but he's there. Greg Austin as the assistant offensive line coach. They lost their assistant offensive line coach went to Kellen Moore to the Saints, so they lost him, had to replace that one. Montgomery Van Gorder, offensive quality control. Cole Peterson, assistant to the head coach. So I don't know who Cole Peterson is. So I know it's really early, but we're going to be talking about, once we get into camp, really all our eyes are not on just the competition with a lot of these players that we're excited for on the defensive side of the ball. This offense is pretty much set, okay? The only differences to this offense really going into this season is your right guard position, the competition there. A.J. Dillon, a new running back behind Saquon Barkley. Can he stay healthy? And they'll probably bring in a couple more backs. They still have Will Shipley here. So really those are everything else is the same. You still have Jahan Dotson. You still have A.J. Brown. You still have Devontae Smith. You still have everybody on long-term contracts right now. Your offensive line is pretty good right now. So Now it comes down to the coaching aspect. What is Kevin Patullo going to bring to the table of this offense? We know that last year this was Nick's offense with a little bit of a Kellen Moore mix into some of the playbook. Okay. We'll get into more of this in the offseason program, and I'm going to be very critical of Kevin Patullo. And this isn't a guy that's brand new. This is a guy that's been here the last few years. The only question I have with Kevin Patullo being the new offensive coordinator, which I think it's a really smart move, because if you want something consistent with your playbook, why not hire the guy that's been here the last few years? Okay, the only issue I have with Kevin Patullo is this. At 23, when Nick couldn't turn to anybody for play calling, when he was the game manager, when he was pretty much making the playbook every single week, and Brian Johnson being the scapegoat that he was, why didn't Kevin Patullo go in there and take over play calling if there was a big issue? That's like the only question I have. Why didn't he turn anything around offensively that year? He just sat on the sidelines, it was involved, but just didn't do much. I don't know. So the 23 season is still going to be one of the most weirdest seasons ever when it comes to, Kevin Patullo and why he wasn't more involved, that they feel very good about him right now. But I feel pretty good about it, but we'll see as time flows on. We need to be very critical of how, your offense is set. You should be throwing 30, 35 plus points. There's no excuse for this offense to be under what it is, okay, to be lackluster in the 2025 season, okay? So we'll see what happens with that in the near future. We'll talk about that later. We still have a lot of time. And other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. We went over, obviously, 2 pre-draft hits, and Olufemi Aladejo, Andrew Phillips at cornerback, and Cooper Dejean, the future of Cooper Dejean, and what they're going to do with him going into, this offseason program, if they're going to move him around. And, we have to see what we draft first, go into the draft, and, see the difference that we do get there going forward. But let me know what you guys think about all the news, the offensive coaching staff, Cooper Dejean working out with Patrick Surtain in Arizona, working his tail off, and the 2 pre-draft visits as well. We're still trying to catch up on those. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. And make sure you like the video, because it helps out tremendously. Appreciate all the support and everyone being patient. We're getting close to the draft, baby, real soon. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Shake, what up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.